Hello, viewers, and welcome to an exciting episode of Disappointed Dragon, one that I had been talking about for a little bit. So you may recall that in the last episode I mentioned that I was going to show off some cool stuff that I had gotten as presents in the past, some stuff that's very near and dear to me. I actually got some of these for Christmas quite early because of how shipping works, and my brother didn't want to wait to give them to me, but in countless videos I've probably talked about how I remember cartoons fondly from my childhood. I was a 90s kid, so I watched a lot of ridiculous cartoon shows. And knowing this, my brother has picked me up some toys from those shows. And one of them was a show that wanted to capitalize off of the popularity of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And they made a series, and we used to get the VHS from the video store, and that series was called Street Sharks. Now, if you don't know what Street Sharks is, which you definitely should, it is a ridiculous show with a bunch of teenage boy brothers, seeing a theme here, who are mutated by the evil Dr. Paradigm into large, muscular shark men. This one actually isn't one of the brothers. This one is a specialty one. This one is called Rocks. I will put up a picture of the original toy, Future Me will, in the box. Right, Future Me?
Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Okay, perfect. So you can see here that this copy isn't very good. My brother got a lot of them actually for me. For a fairly decent price. I think it came with 3, if I recall correctly. And obviously it's supposed to have very long hair and a guitar. You can kind of tell the way he's holding it. But whoever had this, the kid, he obviously gave it a haircut. Also, it's really weird that this one doesn't have a shark fin. I don't think this one ever did have a shark fin. I think he's supposed to be a nurse shark. I can't remember. But yeah, so this is from Street Sharks. We used to watch it all the time. Had a really kicking theme song. Insert clip of theme song here. Thank you. Very strange. The show was insane. They would have the Street Sharks dive underground, and they would like go through the ground and then have their fin sticking out, and all sorts of ridiculous named attacks like Shark Slam or Grand Slam or whatever. It was ridiculous, and the villains all had pun names like let's see, what were they? There was Killamari, who was a mutated squid. I think he could shoot like darts. Man, it's been a long time since I watched the show. Slobster and stuff like that. It was ridiculous. I'll see if I can put pictures of those villains in here if I can find them. And then this one he also gotten a lot, but he wouldn't give it to me. This one he kept for himself. This is Jab. He is one of the main 4 protagonists. But this is a specialty version. As you can see, he's got like rivets and things on him. And apparently these numbers are related to the type of steel he's made of, my brother would say. He's a metal fabricator, so yeah, he likes that kind of nerdy stuff. Yeah, but you can see that these are great toys. This one actually does have a fin. And you could like kind of pull back to make his mouth open and close. And yeah. A lot of these would also have gimmicks. This one, I don't think this one had a gimmick. We don't obviously have the original packaging for these. I'm not 100% sure. But that's Jab. It's a really nice toy. I actually used to have one of the leaders of the Street Sharks, the big blue one, but I gave it to my friend's little cousin because it was a really nice toy. The names of these are the only Street Sharks that I currently have. The other protagonists would have been Ripster, Big Slamu, and Streaks. I'll try to get a picture of all 3 of those ones as well. They have ridiculous names. I think they had real names before they were turned into sharks, but then they went with their crazy names. But Street Sharks, as fantastic as it was not the show that I grew up with the most and that I enjoyed the most. The one that I loved the most and that I waited for on Saturdays to watch was Stuck to Some Plastic. Extreme Dinosaurs, Out of Time. So this is actually the VHS of the first couple episodes of the show Street Sharks. Now, or sorry, not Street Sharks, Extreme Dinosaurs. So funnily enough, with that Freudian slip there, Extreme Dinosaurs was actually a spin-off of Street Sharks. So a spin-off of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles spin-off. I guess they appeared in an episode of Street Sharks and they were really popular. If you were a 90s kid, you would know that dinosaurs were the big in thing in the 90s. They were very, very popular. I was no exception to this. I loved this show. I waited for it. It also had a kicking theme song, which I will try to put a clip of right here. Thank you, future me. I have watched this VHS many times. It's a little bit hard to see. We'll see if I can zoom in here. Yeah, there we go. As you can see, like most low-budget cartoon series in the day, it was not fantastic. Here we've got the short plot. I'm not going to read it out, but yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. We had the heroes, which you can see here. We've got Bullseye, the pterodactyl. We've got Stegs, the Stegosaurus, obviously. We've got T-Bone, the T-Rex. You can't really see him back there, but that would be Spike, the Triceratops. And apparently, I didn't see this far into the show because it was just always reruns. There was another dinosaur that joined them later called Hard Rock. I don't have toys of all of these, obviously. You've seen one of them in the past. We'll show it off in a second, but I'm pretty happy to have this VHS, actually. I do still have a VCR, and I'm kind of avoiding watching too much of it because I know that the show is not well-aged, and I'll just keep my good memories. But as one that I've shown off before, which was at the time my only one, I have here a T-Bone. And as I talked about before, this T-Bone is an awesome toy. He is full rubber. Guys, move back. They're very chunky toys that take up a lot of space. He is full rubber except for his legs, which are plastic, and he looks great. The toys do kind of suffer from the fact that their molding is extremely detailed and they're really buff, and it really doesn't look like the cartoon equivalent. It's very loose, but yeah, it's a great toy. This was the first one he got me. It's got a place in my heart as one of my favorites. It's fantastic. But yep, so that's the one that you've seen before. This is T-Bone. And then of the other good guys he got me a Bullseye. And the great thing about the Bullseye he got me is that it still has its wings. A lot of Bullseye toys, the wings will be missing, and that is fantastic. I should point out that all of these guys are unfortunately missing their accessories. When I show the picture of the toys in the package, you'll see that they all came with ridiculous armor and headgear and weapons and things. But unfortunately, to buy the ones with the accoutrements is extremely expensive. I think he still paid between $30 and $60 for some of these guys. They're very expensive, even complete, because as you know, toys from the 90s are in high demand by people like me who have a lot of nostalgia for them. Yeah, so this is Bullseye, and as you can see, again, ridiculously overly molded with huge heads and crazy proportions. This one's not quite as sturdy as the T-Bone, just because of the nature of the wings and the plastic. But it is still a really nice figure. And unfortunately, I don't have the other heroes. I don't have a Stegs, I don't have a Spike. Hoping one day to get all of them, but that's neither here nor there. Now we'll go on to the villains. Now, I always like villains better. I think most people think the villains look cooler. This was no exception, especially because they were all raptors. Now, unfortunately, they never made a toy of all three raptors. They only made two of them. There was three. There was Bad Rap, Hax, and Spitter. They're really original with names, folks. And I happen to have the two that were available. Now, there's many different versions. They're kind of like the Ninja Turtles. I just kept on making more and more toys, as you can see by Steel Jab here. But we've got the Hax. Now, unfortunately, my Hax is quite damaged. The reason he was called Hax was actually because he had, and you can see the peg hole here, and we'll show it in the picture of the box toy, he had giant blades on his arms, and he had a mechanical whip tail. Now, obviously, mine does not have these bits. We have not found one that's complete yet that we have won the auction on. Yep, but this is Hax. Really doesn't look that much like him in the show again. It's a really cool looking toy, though. I quite like it. They do have them in such ridiculous poses with their hands and things, though. They're quite like insane. But it's a really cool toy. I really like it. I've been meaning to make him a tail myself to try to fix him. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but I always like the villains. There was no Spitter toy, and he was called Spitter because he had tubes that went down his arms and a big tank on his back, and it was attached to his mouth, and he could spray acid from his mouth and from the two things on his arm. So he was called Spitter. I have seen some people who have bought extra Hacks toys, and what I might do eventually is turn this broken one into a Spitter where they've modified it to look like Spitter, because they were very similar, except that he was a lighter red color with a white belly. So you just have to do some painting and some extra molding and whatnot. We'll see if I ever get another Hacks to try that. And now, for the leader of the Raptors, Bad Rap. I am running out of space and we have to move some of these guys off. They're very big. Bad Rap. Now, Bad Rap doesn't look anything like this in the show. This is a specialty one. He's got like dino vision. So the specialty power that he was given, and he was given a giant arm gun. It wasn't actually replacing his regular arm. It actually went over his hand, and he had giant metal grill, which is of course missing, unfortunately. But that is kind of what you expect with toys this old. So in the show, he's actually a very similar color to T-Bone. He's very orange, not red at all. He looks pretty much nothing like this, but the toy is still fantastic. As you can see, he's got his gun. Actually, the interesting thing is when we got this one, my brother got it really cheap because he was broken. This was snapped off and the peg or the pin had come out. So my brother was able to fix it with some green stuff and putty from Warhammer, put the pin back in, and then paint it. You can see it, but it's not terrible, and it does work, which is fantastic. So yeah, this one is at this point in time my new favorite because I like the gun and the fact that he is all together. But T-Bone is definitely close. And that is currently all of the ones I have that I've been given as gifts or that my brother has kept for himself. He really likes that one because of the steel plates on him and things. But yeah, so this is these are some toys from a show that was really dear to me in my childhood. I used to wait Saturdays on the summer hoping that they would show more episodes, and watched my one VHS over and over and over again. Put it in the back if we can make room. There it is. I haven't been able to find it since. I know that there's some episodes on YouTube. I don't think that I want to watch it again, just because some people I know have recently watched some episodes of Street Sharks that were on YouTube as well, and they didn't age fantastically. So I'll try and put in some clips and things, maybe a few. We'll put in a picture of all of these in box toys. I was able to find, I think, all of them. They might be a little low res, but we'll do the best we can. And yeah, this was a cartoon from my childhood. I have great nostalgia for it. I love the toys. If I can get all of the toys in box one day, I'd love it. But that's that's a pricey collection. That would be more interested in the Extreme Dinosaurs and the Street Sharks, to be perfectly honest. The Street Sharks are cool. I will give you that. And I actually do remember a time when thrift stores had them all the time. They're a little bit more hard to come by these days, unfortunately, but that is life. So next time I'll show off another one of the gifts I got for Christmas, and that'll be a more laid back and buildy episode as it is a construction toy. But until then, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.